So, hello, all. Very good evening to all of you. Today, we are at the second session of the problem solving series, wherein we are discussing the issues faced by the learners in our course on understanding design. We'll wait for a couple of minutes so that the remaining people can also join in. Meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll just quickly show you where can you find your problem solving sessions which are recorded. So we have already conducted one problem solving session as of now, and that is available in the NPTEL platform, and I'll quickly show it to you. Right. So this is how the NPTEL platform is, and if you have logged in with your credentials, we are basically on the announcement section of the course, and in the announcement section, you can see a few of the announcements which are already there. Right? If you scroll down, you will see all the relevant announcements with respect to this particular subject. For example, you can see the topmost announcement is regarding the week 3 content which has been made live and uploaded, okay, as well as the week 3 assignment, right? So these are basically arranged in the order of newest, first, and oldest in the last. As and when the content is updated, it is made live. The announcements are generated, and you also get to see that in your inbox, right? If you see here, just yesterday you received a mail probably and an announcement that we are conducting the live interactive session, which is for this particular day, which is today between 6 to 8 p.m. And this is the link. Right? So even if you miss out on the link, what you can do is you can actually go through the announcements and consider this particular link. If not on the announcement section, you can actually go via your uh, Gmail inbox as well. Okay, or probably whatever mail ID which you have registered with, you will actually get all these announcements in your mail inbox, and you can access all these content assignments as well as details regarding the problem solving sessions. Okay, we'll just wait and see if more people have joined in. Hi Sahil.
Hi Abhishek, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Sahil. How are you?
Good, good, getting on.
Okay, so Sahil, can you did you join our previous session?
Sorry, I'll just switch on my camera. No, I did not. This is my first session. I'm just looking at.
Okay, so this is your first session, huh?
Yeah, I was just exploring the course, so I came across this course. And all.
All right, great, great. So what we usually do is that we first have a quick, normally we have a quick round of introduction, and then we conduct the live problem solving session. So if you can please tell us about yourself.
Hi, Sahil. I'm basically we make furniture, custom furniture, and we do fit outs in Dehradun, based out of Dehradun. I'm an engineer, mechanical engineer by qualification, and I have like zero training in design, so I'm trying to explore and trying to learn more about design and how we can build design capabilities. Yeah.
How did you get to know about this course? I just wanted to know.
So I was the NPTEL platform I knew because of for business and engineering courses. So I was exploring that, and then I came across this course.
All right, Sahil. So most welcome. We had Sanjana. Okay, so in the previous session, we had around 40-50 participants, and the idea of these session is that whatever the learners are, going through the content in the week-wise sessions, and if they face any issue, they can actually, raise these concerns. And apart from that, we also what we do is that we conduct a tentative, sample test wherein we have set of 10 questions which are basically pertaining to the week 2 content. So every week there is a set of questions. There is a lecture series which is made live, and pertaining to that, we basically prepare the learners for their upcoming examination. So what I believe is that you are doing more in terms of understanding about design and not specifically for any certificate or course credit, right?
I mean, if I am doing this course, then I don't mind, yeah, taking the credits as well and taking the examination, getting certificate. But this is more for my own. I mean, I want to understand more about design and start. So yeah, that was the primary.
Great, great, great. So, Sahil, you're quite close by. Actually, I'm from IIT Roorkee. I'm pursuing my research here.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Nice.
Yeah,
What are
so
you What are you researching? Sorry, what is the?
yeah, yeah, I'll share all that. So, so basically, from my background, I'm an architect and industrial designer. I did my education from School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi, and after that, I worked for almost 8 years in companies like Infosys, Think Design, and had a brief tenure in my own company as well, which was into design consultancy. And after that, I started venturing into teaching part, wherein I was a design educator at a few design colleges in India. And then I started my research journey as a PhD student. So again, I'm back to as a student here at IIT Roorkee. Uh,
Fascinating.
yeah. So currently, I'm researching on the ancient system of education, which was the Gurukul system of education, and trying to find its relevance in the contemporary design education. So in that, I'm kind of exploring a lot of aspects. Probably furniture might also come down the line, which I'm not very sure as of now, but it'll take some time to materialize on that particular aspect as well.
Interesting, interesting. And you're
So,
sorry, you're from? You're actually from
my hometown is Lucknow. Uh,
Lucknow.
yeah, I'm from Lucknow, but currently I'm placed in Roorkee itself. So, Sahil, you said that you have your own manufacturing setup, is it?
So this is our office studio. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good to see.
So this is we have a small workshop. We do custom furniture and we do fit outs interior. So we yeah, so we have a workshop and then we make things, and
May I know the name of your setup?
it's called Standard Furniture Mart. I'll is there a way I can?
You can either post as a text message in this if there is a website or something.
I just we our website is not been on for a while.
Okay,
I'll
okay,
just
that's
share our Instagram page so you can.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That is also fine. All right, thank you. So I'll take a note of it. So Sahil, were you able to go through the content of previous week and were you able to complete the assignments?
Sorry, not yet, not yet. So I just wanted to get an idea of the course. I thought I'll interact with some people here. So that, but I will post this call. I will sit on it and.
All right, all right. So these sessions are more like doubt clearing sessions,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
these are not like mandatory sessions wherein attendance and everything is being counted, but it is more in terms of offering a support hand to the learners in terms of their better understanding of the content. So that is why we see a fluctuating kind of an audience in these courses. Hi, Kumar. Om, Om. All right. So what I'll do is I'll put my screen on share and I'll start the presentation. So let's start with that. So please let me know when you are able to see the screen.
Yes, can see. I can see.
Okay, okay, great. So, once again, hello to everyone, all the learners of this course. The course is titled Understanding Design. We are currently in week two of the course. The course instructor is Professor Nina Sabnani from IIT Bombay. My name is Abhishek, and I'm doing my doctoral journey at IIT Roorkee as of now. And today we are meeting at the week two of the series of 4 week, and we'll be proceeding with the general agenda of the presentation. So the initial few set of slides are basically a protocol slides, what you can say. It's going to be common for all the 4 weeks. And the intent is that, every week we see new learners joining in. So the idea is to help you in terms of making aware of what are the little details of the course if you are a part of, and how do you proceed, how do you locate things in this particular NPTEL platform. Okay, so these live sessions are basically to help you in the current run of courses. So like I said, it's a 4 week course, and we have already covered week one in our previous session. Today we'll be basically covering the week two content, uh, which I'll be detailing about in terms of the heads which were discussed, as well as we'll also do a content recap for those who have not been able to gone through the this week's course. We'll also have set of 10 questions, basically to understand if you have been able to grasp the content and what's your understanding of those questions. And that's how we'll basically conclude. In terms of participatory scheme of things, we also have certain polls and quizzes, which will basically be done from an online tool called Slido. Right. What we'll do is we'll discuss and solve previous year's assignment. Now, this is important because uh, in the course right now, there are live set of questions which will basically have to be answered by you, and these are being evaluated as well, right, for the need of your certificate. Okay. So the current set of questions we will not be discussing. We will be discussing old set of questions, but which have a similar typology, the similar week's content. So it will help you in terms of understanding, how the questions are being framed, how do you address them, how do you answer them, and it will also help you in attempting the live quizzes as well. Okay. There is another very interesting functionality called discussion forum. Now, this is basically provided by the NPTEL platform, wherein if you have any question pertaining to any video, any lecture, you can actually ask a question, right? So you can post the question there. It will include a video timestamp so that it will also help us in terms of relating, where the question is coming from, what is the background, and we'll be able to address it in a much better way. Now, there are few things which are very helpful while we post a question on NPTEL platform, which is the discussion forum, is that it includes people from the NPTEL team who are also viewers of it. It also includes the learners of this course, basically all the learners. And this also includes myself, who is basically the TA for this course. Okay. So what happens is that if any of the learner is having any doubt, they can post a question, and this question will automatically be visible to all these three users, right? And the benefit is that when I answer to this question, it will again be visible to all these three users, right? So it helps us in being much more transparent. It helps us in being, much more effective in terms of addressing questions. So I would always encourage everyone to use the functionality of discussion forum for your question and answers. Okay. During the live session, there are certain things which I would request all of you to follow. Kindly keep your mic on mute to avoid any noise disturbances. The reason is that it is being recorded, and it's being recorded because we have a requirement that the video needs to be uploaded on YouTube, right? So we have a requirement that there has to be a recorded video for this particular session, and it needs to be uploaded on YouTube. So for that particular respect, I would want everybody to uh, please keep yourself on mute. If you have any questions or you want to speak or you want to raise any concern, obviously you can unmute yourself and speak. That's perfectly fine. And yet again, as I said, kindly post your questions in the discussion forum. Okay. Now, this is how your profile or platform looks when you log in with your credentials. Okay. So probably this is your mail ID and this is the SWAM platform. Okay. The NPTEL platform wherein you can actually go through the content. Now, let me briefly explain you these widgets. These are the section heads called announcements. As I mentioned in the beginning, it will capture all the recent announcements with respect to this particular course, be it the problem solving session or let me just write it down solving sessions or weekly quizzes or when the content is made live. All right. So, all these announcements will be made here. If you have subscribed, you will also get these in your mail inbox as well. All right. About the course is place wherein you get all the lecture content. So these are in the form of modules and short videos which are present. And this also includes ALM, which is additional learning material, which can be in the form of PDF or a YouTube story or a small documentary. All right. So this basically enhances your learning for that particular course content in that particular week. Ask a question, as I said, basically leads to your discussion forum. When you click here, it takes you to a Google discussion forum wherein you can post your question. Again, as I said, it will be utilizing the video timestamp so that people can understand the question and its context or the background. Progress basically helps you evaluate your own progress, how you are performing, how you are doing in your assignments, how well you have gone through the content, whether you have gone through each and every module, lecture or not. So it assesses performance in two ways. One is the content side, which is how much of content you have gone through, as well as your assessment scores. All right. So assessment scores is basically when you submitted an assignment, it will obviously be evaluated. Now you might not see it right now because the week one and week two ka deadline is 7th Feb. So we still have 2 days left. Okay. So the moment these 2 days gone by and we are 8th ko most probably you will get the results for both the quizzes. Quiz one and quiz two. Okay. So all those who are waiting to see their progress and results, just wait for a few more days, a couple of more days. The results will be made live and you can actually see it in the progress tab. Okay. These three tabs are currently not being in use. I mean, you won't see any data here. If you are able to see, please let me know. But as of now, there is no content in these. Now, again, these two tabs are also relevant because if you're doing it for certification point of view, what you can do is you can actually click here and register for the examination. And if you have already, registered for the examination and there was some issue in the net or in the payment, you can actually check the status from here. We'll proceed to our next slide. Now, all these, recordings and the content which we are sharing as of now, it's being uploaded for the convenience of all our users. The idea is that there is a possibility where the learners are not getting time or they are not available at this particular session time because of their assignment engagement or their professional engagement. So that is why NPTEL offers you a bonus support wherein you can see this entire session live which is being recorded and it is being uploaded in a YouTube link. Okay. And this presentation deck is basically which we are conducting right now. So the presentation deck includes the slides with annotations. And all these is converted into a PDF and it's uploaded in the shared drive folder. Okay. Now, no need to copy these links because these links are now available at this particular area, which is the problem solving session. If you log in the same, platform on the left, this is the left pane. Okay, let's call it the left pane. In the left pane, as you can see, week one, week two content, and when you click here, it will, basically, collapse, sorry, expand, and it will show you all the lectures and modules. At the bottom, you will find something like problem solving session. When you click here, it will lead to you, it will lead you to a link, which will in a way lead to you to an Excel sheet. If you want, you can actually do it right now and check. So we'll have week one, week two, week three, week four. There will be YouTube links available. So since currently we are at week two session, so you can only see the week one content. There will be a common folder for Drive, which is basically open to all. So anybody who has access to the link can actually view the content. And then we'll have some more data fields, which are like, the participants count and all those things. Okay. Now, this is a brief preview of the course. As we have already seen, the title is Understanding Design by Professor Dina Sabnani, who was basically associated with IIT Bombay, and it's faculty there and has done great work in the visual space, in animation, and there are a lot many short films, animation films, which she has made, and it has been awarded. This is a 4 week course, and currently we are in the week two run. The week two assignment deadline is 7th of Feb. So, like I mentioned, you've got 2 days left. If you are doing it for an academic requirement or from a certification point of view, please try to attempt the quiz as soon as possible. Okay, the course started at 22nd of January and it'll end by 16th of Feb. The examination date is 24th of March. Okay, it's a very interesting date, 24. So it'll be easy to remember as well. The thing is that the examination offers you, it will be basically a physical examination, just like you have had your class 10th and class 12th examination, where you will be going to a center, exam center, or and you will be attempting the examination. Again, since it's a physical examination, it will be a proctored examination, which means that there will be a few invigilators who will be roaming around, and you'll have to appear for the examination. You'll be given the option of choosing the exam center as well as time. Okay. So based on your convenience, on 24th of March, you can actually, give preference to either the morning slot or the post lunch slot. And even the registration form actually asks you to, give at least three choices. That's what I can recall from my last experience. So at least three choices are given. So if you are, registering, you'll be able to see that. So based on your proximity and, based on your convenience, you can actually give those choices in a hierarchical order. Okay. पहले आपका प्रेफरेंस क्या है, दूसरा आपका क्या है, तीसरा आपका क्या है. So based, it could be based on distance, it could be based on proximity. So one and the same thing. Depending upon your comfort, you can actually give these three choices. The last date for registration is 16th of Feb. All right. This basically shows, when you click on the progress bar, how it shows. So this is just a depictive number. For you, it may be close to 50% because, we are halfway down the line. This is the second week. Like I mentioned, it will be showing progress in two parameters. The first parameter and the second parameter. The first parameter is unit wise progress, how much content you have gone through, which means that how much of content you have seen, you have processed, you have seen the entire video or lecture, or whether you have downloaded the reference materials which are being given. Assessment is basically your quiz results. how you are appearing for it, kind of marks you are getting. As I mentioned, since the deadline is 7th Feb, you'll be this part will be active post 7th of Feb. Okay. I'll just take a quick view of the learners as of now in the call. All right, we've got four. Okay, so hi Karan, hi Michelle, and hi Ananya. Just if you can quickly tell us whether you were there in the previous session or not, it will help me understand you better. So, any one of you, if you can unmute and please speak. Ananya,
I wasn't there in the previous session, but I just went through the recording.
you were not in the previous session, but
But I just went through the recording today.
acha, acha, you have gone through the recorded. Great. Ananya, could you please quickly tell us about the background you are having?
Okay, so I'm a fourth year computer science student, and but I have an interest in design. Plus, I'm also taking this course as a post requirement for my university. But I'm finding it very interesting so far.
Okay, can you tell me which college you are from?
I'm from Shiv Madhav University.
The one in Noida.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. So welcome, Ananya. Hope to see you in
thank
the
you.
subsequent sessions as well. All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, okay. Welcome. Karan, if you're there, can we briefly speak? Karan Kumar. Okay. Michelle.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, welcome. Can you please briefly introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm an assistant professor currently working at Chandigarh University in the Department of Design.
Okay, okay. Welcome, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to know your motivation to join this course.
I've been attending courses on swim for the last 3 semesters.
Okay,
It helps
nice.
me pick up the pace with the current generation. You know, the subjects that we learned during our undergraduation and post graduation
Right.
are constantly being updated. So this kind of helps me fill the gap.
Great, great. Welcome, ma'am. Were you
Yeah.
available in the previous session, and you have whether you have
Mm,
gone through the previous content, previous week's content?
I was not there on the previous session, but I did go through all the content.
Okay, so week one and two, you have gone through the content. Huh?
Yes, yes.
Okay, ma'am. Most welcome.
Yeah.
So we had okay. All right, all right. So sorry for the brief pause. We'll continue with our presentation. So I hope my screen is visible. If any one of you can please let me know that. Are you able to see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Now coming on to the important details for those who are doing it for an academic requirement or from a certification point of view. The course is basically free to enroll, right? So anybody who has an interest, who wants to learn, who wants to know about design can actually join in and learn for free. But if you are doing it for a certificate point of view, you want a certificate at the end, there are a few things which you need to ensure. First is that you need to register for the examination, right? So, like I mentioned, the registration is very much important, and you can mention your criterias for it. The registration fee is 1,000 rupees per examination, but it is that if you do it before the 12th of Feb, right? If you do it later, that is between Feb 12th and Feb 16, there will be certain late fee charges. So if you have a mandate from your college, because in the previous session we saw that a lot of students were basically doing this course as a part of academic requirement. So they had to show that these are the number of credits they've earned. So if you're doing it for from that perspective, it's always good to do it as soon as possible. Now there is also a benefit of doing it earlier, because if you do it earlier, you get to have the exam center of your preferred choice. Okay, so the first preference you'll get, right? So you do it earlier, it will be beneficial for you. Okay. There is also certain benefits for the below categories. So SCST and PWD categories do get certain fee waiver. So you can actually log in to the website and enter your details. You'll be able to fetch more data regarding that. Okay. Now, criteria to earn a certificate. Just like in university examination, there is an internal component and an external component, and this all sums up to your overall score. All right. So it is something like that only. By internal, what we mean is the quizzes which you participate in. So, like we said that for every week there is a quiz. So we'll have basically 4 quizzes, and the weightage will be 25% of it. External is basically your physical examination, which will be conducted in a designated center. Since it's a proctored examination, so it will have obviously more weightage, right? So 75% weightage is given to it. And these two sum up to build your final score. Okay. Now, there is a precondition to it. The condition says that for the internal part, let me take a different color because it will, right. So अगर हम internals की बात करें, which is the 25% weightage, your score needs to be more than equal to 10. And for the proctored examination, it needs to be more than equal to 30. Okay. So it is not a possibility wherein you score 5 here and then you score 50 here and then you get a score of 55. Still you won't get a certificate, right? So both internal component and the external component are equally important. The benefit in the internal component is that we take the average of best 3 assignments. Okay. So like I said that there are 4 weeks and each week has a quiz. So we'll have total 4 quizzes. So out of that, we'll be considering only best 3. Okay. So there is a possibility, if you are not able to perform well or there is some doubt and then, you've got lesser marks. So we'll take only the best 3 assignments, right? I hope this part is clear. So individually, you need to score more than 10 and more than 30 in both internal and external, which is having a weightage of 25% and 75%, which means that your overall score will automatically be greater than 40. If you're meeting these criteria, you will earn a certificate from the NPTEL team. Okay. If there are any questions up till now, we can address it. If not, we'll proceed further. Okay. So in the week 1 content, we basically talked about introduction to design. There are different notions of design, how the design has evolved for a particular product. In the previous case, it was about a juicer's example, which was taken and how it had evolved over a period of time. We talked about good and bad design, the user in the context, and understanding user experience and design for a meaningful impact. Week 2, which is the current week content, basically talks about design and society, community and collaboration, understanding the context, and how do you meet the needs along with the sustainability practices like the lean thinking models as well. We also have additional learning materials wherein we saw the example of living root bridges, which is a very interesting case study, the new bionics, which is a TED talk, and again a YouTube video, which talks about the story of stuff. Okay, now we'll be going through the content recap. Just like I mentioned that there is a possibility that because of time and because of your engagement, you might not be able to go through the content. So here we are going through the content in a very brief manner, but very quickly in order to help you understand what was there in the current week so that you are able to, participate in a much better and informed way in the set of 10 questions which we have. Okay, for this week. So sample set of 10 questions. So these recap will actually help you in addressing them as well. So, like I mentioned, the course instructor is Professor Nina Sabnani, and in this particular series, she invited a few guests from different institutions. And the first guest was Professor Binita Desai. She is from the IICT Gandhinagar. And we saw the case study of living root bridges. So those of you who have seen the documentary, I think you must have been surprised and excited to see that. Those who have not seen, the images will actually help you understand, what we are talking about. So these are huge banyan trees, राइट एंड ये जो शाखाएं होती हैं इनकी ये बेसिकली रूट्स निकलती हैं एंड द लोकल पीपल दे डिवाइस्ड अ वे वेयर इन दीज रूट्स वर बेसिकली engineered through the indigenous material and they were made into the bridges. All right. So this documentary is not. I think it's within 10 minutes. If you get time, please have a look at it. The bridge formation takes a lot of time because these are like living roots. Roots take their own time to grow. All right. So obviously it takes a lot of time, but then in that span of time, it has a huge amount of offering to it. The lifespan of the bridges are nearly 500 years. Okay. Just imagine a space wherein you have concrete and you have steel members, having a limited life. These are living roots, so they have that strength which is able to support it. Nearly 500 people can cross the bridge at once. The width of the bridge was 6 to 8 feet, and the length was 65 feet. All right. So great example of how people have been able to live in harmony with nature and utilize natural elements in respect to their need of of daily commute, of going from one place to another, which was a big challenge when there are heavy rains and there are multiple waterfalls and rivers. Also, the content talked about how we have transitioned, how the cultural transformation has taken place in due course of time. You must remember that there was a time when we have been floor sitters, है ना, ज्यादातर हमारा काम नीचे बैठ के होता है. अभी भी बहुत चीजों का काम होता है. I mean, there are still many communities and households, they prefer eating on the floor, on the ground. If not eating, they might be doing yoga, they might be doing meditation, or they might be practicing some music like the tabla, harmonium, etc. So, these activities had been primarily ground based and floor sitting. But, with the intrusion of chair, a lot of things have changed. Chair has come to our lifestyle and it has basically dictated our lifestyle in a certain way, if I would say. So it has come to your schools, it has come to colleges, it has come to your households where you see the concept of dining table has come, and with the concept of dining table, the concept of dining rooms have also come, right? So we can see the transition happening, right now, with the introduction of one product, how the entire lifestyle is changing. We can actually see from this particular example, right? Schools, colleges, households, and then talk about offices. Offices are a big area where all these chairs and board meetings and personal kiosks, so many things. You have these all seated spaces, which are the chair-based seated spaces. All right. Then we had a small documentary as a TED talk wherein we have talked about the bionics, which is an interplay between biology and design. And it's again a very interesting case study. If you have time, please go through it. He tells his personal journey and how it motivated him to, uh, work on prosthetics and, work for the people who have been devastated by the loss of their limbs, and how they are basically, working around in helping them and, reintroducing themselves into their daily lives, their areas of interest. In the end of the video, you'll see, a dance performance by a lady who basically lost her leg in one of the explosions. So basically, how his innovation is actually helping people bringing back their areas of interest and living a normal life. This is a very interesting story. Can anybody tell me what it is about? Let me ask. The imagery can actually tell you what was this case study about.
It was about the invention of Velcro material,
Great, great, very well said. It was
where
about.
yeah, so it's like making something out of familiar material, where it's already knowledge that we have, but then when we see something similar, we kind of club together the ideas we already had, then think of how to make it into a new thing.
Well said, ma'am. Thank you so much. So it's basically an example of biomimicry and how the observation of one person actually led to coming up with a completely new material, which is now being seen in our daily lives. We often see it at so many places. Here is some example wherein sandals and slippers have been seen, but the examples are unlimited. It has intervened into our daily lives in so many products. Now, here comes our first question. What you need to do is you need to take your mobile phones. If you have an internet connection, try to scan this particular QR code. If not, you can also go to slido.com and enter the hash code. And what you need to do is you need to share some examples of Velcro in products of daily use. So, like we saw in the previous slide about the example of, how in sandals and footwear, people have started using Velcro as a fastener. Try to share what are other products wherein you see the use of Velcro. Okay. So take some time, think about it, and use your mobile phones, scan it, and try to share your answer. Again, whatever you write, whatever you share, we are not going to evaluate you. There is no marking for it. But what we get is a better participation, better and active participation, so that it generates, more better learning for us. All right. So, and again, this is an anonymous feed, so you don't have to worry about people judging you. It's basically whatever you feel that it could be the right answer. Obviously, there could be many right answers, but try to share your point of view. Where could you see the use of Velcro in products of daily use? So I'll give a few minutes for all of you to see the question and start writing it. We will not find any names, so please feel free the release your pressure of your judgment. It won't be like that. It's mostly to understand your point of view, your thought process, and how well aware and observant you are in this busy life of multitasking and mobile phones. On laptop pockets inside bags, interesting. I think that's a very good use case. Almost, majority of people are carrying backpacks, and the sleeve wherein you keep your laptops. It's basically it's like a safety buckle. You slide it in the laptop, and then you can actually put the Velcro sleeve. Well done, well done. You can submit multiple responses. So there's no limitation that only one person can submit only once. So take use of it. And I would request all the participants to please try and, participate in it. It's an active engagement exercise. It helps me understand all our audience, and it helps audience also to understand, their peers and learners. And, basically it tells you, how observant you are in today's world. So I'll also participate in this. Okay. We've got two results as of now. I'll just check how many people are there in the call. We've got four people. All right. Come on, guys, all four of you. Please try to share your point of view. We have got yoga mat, fasteners, laptop pockets. That's a very good one. Blood pressure cuff. Very well done. Very well done. Now we are, diversing into, biomedical products as well. So very well said. When you try to measure your blood pressure, you try to fasten the belt on the shoulder and it is tightened through the velcro. A very very good use case. Great. School bags, interesting. Yes. So in today's area, I mean, we are getting a lot of bags wherein there are small tiny pockets, and not in every pocket you can actually have a buckle. So those tiny pockets can actually be closed in using a school bag. Okay, so let's try to diversify ourselves. So we have seen baggages. So we have got school bag, we have got laptop bags. We have seen the yoga mat fasteners. We have seen the blood pressure device. Very well. और थोड़ा इसको widen up करते हैं. Come on. We are doing great. Tiffin bags. Great. बहुत बढ़िया. All right. Hmm. Okay, we have got footwear as well. So footwear, sandals. Okay, we have got a lot of options. Charger. Yes, fantastic. So if you are using a laptop and it will be having a power cord, and the power cord normally has a Velcro, right? So it helps basically in avoiding the coiling of the wire. So you can actually coil the wire and then add a Velcro fastener so that does not becomes messy. So a very good catch there. Um, Okay, let's just quickly go through footwear, blood pressure cuff, laptop pockets, charger, small wire hold, school bags, yoga mat fasteners, tiffin bag. Great. I think that's a good picture of where the velcros are being used. So once again, thank you so much. Let's proceed to our presentation. Okay. So, like I said, there were few invitees in this particular week's lecture. We started with Professor who was from the Dhirubhai Mani Institute. And now we have Miss Gitanjali from Srishti Institute of Art, Design and Technology from Bangalore. And she was basically talking about the concept of, just write it down, sustainability. And she very well described sustainability. And she said that meeting one's own needs without compromising the needs of future generation. I think it's a very powerful statement in itself, wherein we can actually see the current and we can actually visualize the future as well. Okay, meeting one's own needs without compromising the needs of future generation. Okay, you might want to put it down somewhere. It actually helps us. It's more like a guiding statement that try to use your resources in a very decent way, in a much more thoughtful way, so that your future generations, your kids, you do not have to suffer from your overuse of consumption. Then we had a small 3-minute video by Sir Terry who was talking about the lean thinking model. And we had a very interesting case study of Dabbawalas. So even if you had not seen the video, I think बहुत लोगों को पता होगा कि डब्बा वाला का रोल क्या है, and you know uh, how it has been started by so many different foreign institutes as well. And it was a Harvard case study, and a lot more institutions and students, not only from India and abroad, they come, they try to understand their model, how it's a Six Sigma model, how they work around, how it has been so effective and efficient apart from the COVID phase. I mean, they had done brilliantly well. And I read somewhere that they had a failure rate of 1 in 16 million deliveries. So out of 16 million, only one could be the, the misplacement of a dabba. So they have been that efficient in terms of their service. All right, so it's a brilliant case study. Please do watch. All right. So another quick poll. I think it's a very easy one. Even if you don't know the answer to it, by look and feel, you will be able to attempt it. Okay. The Dabbawalas are primarily associated with which Indian city? Okay. So I believe in your mobile phones, the poll would be active, and by default, it will shift to the next question. So you can continue to open your Slido website, and the question will change. I would want you to respond to it. Okay. The Dabbawalas are primarily associated with which Indian cities? So you've got four options. You've got Lucknow, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, and Pune. So give a thought to it and try to respond to it. So please take your time. Try to attempt this again. We're not judging you. We won't be evaluating you because of this. So just quickly tell us what could be the answer. Check if we have the audiences still intact. Okay, we have 4 5 people still there. So please be a part of the discussion, and I would request your active participation. Okay, so let's see the answer. So we have got the answer, and the Mumbai is the right answer. So well done. Thank you so much for participating. The correct answer is Mumbai. Mumbai ka dabba walas are very famous. They help you, ship your dabbas from one location to another, and it's a model which has been discussed and being applauded and showcased at many different platforms internationally as well. So thank you so much. All right. So continuing with our content recap, this basically talked about the housing design for the coastal areas wherein the people and the inhabitants were affected because of the tsunami, and so the idea was to come up with a new set of housing. And after discussion and after doing participatory design process, which basically means that we are meeting with the people who are going to be staying in these houses. तो बेसिकली क्या हो रहा है, आप यूजर से जाके बात कर रहे हो, द पीपल हु वुड बी staying in these houses in the future. Once it is designed and it is implemented, you try to engage them as a part of participatory design process. How it helps is that you are able to understand their psychology, their needs, their socio-cultural fabric, how their lifestyle is, so that they don't feel alien to this particular new space, right? They feel much more comfortable, they feel much more, relaxed, and they are able to use it in a much more better way, so there is always a challenge wherein, you create something and the people might be happy in the initial few years, but then, what they'll do is they'll actually leave and they'll rent it out, and probably to earn, money from it, and they'll again go back to their some small dwelling, right? So there are a lot of challenges when we talk about, a specific context. So it becomes very much important that, how do we engage with the people, how do we understand their latent needs, and it is through the participatory research that we are able to address them, understand them, and then we are able to implement them. Okay. Then comes up the sustainable development goals, the SDGs, as they are often called, proposed by the UN. And there are in total 17 SDGs, starting from poverty to hunger to better health, improving in infrastructure, talking about the climate, that is protect the planet, life below water, life on land. So it basically encompasses a lot many aspects, and these are kind of translated into the 7 goals altogether. Okay, okay. Now we are coming closer to our set of 10 questions, which are the sample set of 10 questions. The questions will have two typology. One is a single choice question, which means that only one answer is correct. So if you have gone through week one content, if you have gone through week one quiz, you will be able to relate it quite well. We usually have these two typology of questions. The question framing might be a little different, wherein, there might be a question like, what do you want in your dash? So it might turn up as a fill in the blanks. The second typology of question is a multi-select answer, which means that, there are more than one correct answer. So it could be all three of them, but here you will be able to choose only one of them, right? So single choice and multiple choice. So when you are attempting the sample set of 10 quiz, please be mindful of that, because that will also help you in terms of, approaching the question in a much better way, and, deriving on to the correct answer. Now, this is particularly important because in the previous time also we realized that people were having doubts about, how they have been marked, and the marking basically goes into three particular principles, and we'll see this. Say for example, we'll take an example. So if the question is, who among the below are Indian singers? All right. Let's take four options. Shankar Mahadevan, Shan, Kapil Dev, Virat Kohli. It's just a sample question to help you understand how the marking is and how the scenarios is, right? So let's take each of the three scenarios for your better understanding. The first says, if all the options chosen by the student are correct and no incorrect answer has been chosen, then full marks. All right. So if the question is, who among the below are Indian singers? So the correct answers are A and B. And the first scenario, what you do is you write A, you write B, and then you submit. All right. So you get full marks. I think that's very clear and straightforward. Let's take B. If at least one incorrect answer has been chosen, then no marks. So in that case, say for example, if you choose B, but you also choose C. Then you did submit. So what you have done is one answer is correct, but the second answer is wrong. In that scenario, no marks will be given. Let's take scenario 3. If only correct answers are chosen, but not all correct answers have been chosen. Okay. Then partial marks. In that case, say for example, if I submit A, sorry, if I choose A and then I submit it, I know that, one answer I've chosen and I'm quite confident it's correct, but I'm not sure about the other three options. So I submit. Here I will get certain partial marks. Right. So I think these are the three scenarios when you are attempting your quiz. It's important to be informed about these three scenarios because there could be situations where you are getting marks in 0.33 or 0.66, and the reason would be these criterias and marking principles. All right. So especially when you are doing it for a course credit requirement, uh, just keep a note of it. It will help you in making a better informed option. Okay. So this is the final active poll. After that, we'll directly go on to the set of 10 questions. What did you like the most in the week 2 content? आपको वीक 2 कंटेंट जो अभी रिलीज हुआ है उसमें आपको सबसे अच्छा क्या लगा? You can also refer to the content recap which we have just concluded, wherein we saw a lot of case studies, right from Dabbawalas to the Living Root Bridges. Or you can also talk about a particular, YouTube lecture or a documentary or any of the PDFs which you have read as a part of references, right? So take some time, try to go through the week 2 content. And again, it's an anonymous post, so feel free to put in your views, and it'll also help in terms of understanding what type of content people are understanding better or preferring it more, right? So take some time and try to address this question. What did you like the most in week 2 content? You've already seen the entire content recap, and take some time, give a thought to it, and share what is it that you like the most. So we've got one answer as of now, which is TED video on the bionics. Okay. So the one who has commented on the bionics video, can you please tell, I mean, what was the part which really moved you, or why it is the most significant content which you have felt? I just want to understand. I mean, you can please unmute yourself and let me know. I mean, what did you like the most in the video, or is it the individual story which is more convincing, which moved you, or what they are doing it from the MIT labs is something that you are interested in?
Hi. Um, so I liked all the aspects of it from the point where he started, where he was showing himself, trying out, the different height variations he was experimenting with it on a funnier side, to the
Right.
part where they ended, how they helped that dancer and the final performance as well. And this particular point that they said, where technology or bionics is not just about how you make uh, us move faster or feel stronger. It's about how we can include or we can transfer humanity into uh, maybe mechatronics or electromagnetic. I don't remember the exact words, but that's the point that I really liked. How it's not just about you know making up for something, but also add that portion of humanity into it.
Right, right. I mean, it was more in terms of how technology can be used as an enabler, and how you can uh, get back doing all the normal stuff which probably people did at some point in time. So, like this video, if you have seen the Jaipur food also, I mean, they have done incredible stuff there by addressing the people who are at the bottom of the pyramid, and so I think these have very emotional outcomes, and when I saw both the videos, I felt that there are so many people who needs some immediate solutions. There are various sections of people who need solutions which need to be affordable, which need to be customized for them, and this opens up a lot of areas wherein design can actually help a lot of people. Thank you for that comment. We've got living root bridges as well. If you can please share your point of view for why you have chosen living root, please. All right, no issues. Participation is more important. You have mentioned it. Thank you so much. Okay, so now let's come on to our set of 10 questions. Again, I would want your active participation. Like in the previous session, you can share which options you think are closer to the correct answer. Again, we are not evaluating you, and so please, be active in terms of responding to these questions. These are mainly to help you to prepare you for your final exam, because there is a possibility that one of these questions turn up in your final exams as well, right? So it's very, very important that you participate here as well. So the question is, how are living root bridges essential to the village society and communities of Meghalaya? So as one of the learner rightly mentioned that these are basically in Meghalaya, the living root bridges and how they are essential to the village society. The options are: due to excessive rain, the other kind of bridges are washed away. Okay, so just imagine there is a rain, and if there is a wooden bridge or something, there will be huge volume of water and they are washed away. Okay, no bridges have been built here by government or have used the expertise of modern day engineering. Okay, so that is a limitation which is being mentioned. Another is these root bridges of the region have better longevity and potential strength as compared to the steel bridges. So we are talking about longevity and potential strength. The fourth is the local conditions of the village require 2,500 people to cross the bridge at any given time. Okay, so which says that it's the contextual requirement is 2,500 individuals using it at any given time. Okay. So again, this is a multi-select answer. There would be more than one correct answers. So think and please tell me what could be the right answers. Living root bridges essential to the village society and communities of Meghalaya. Is it due to the excessive rain that other kind of bridges are washed away? No bridges have been built by the government or use the expertise of modern day engineering. The root bridges of the region have better longevity and potential strength, and the local conditions of the people require 2,500 people to cross the bridge at any given point in time. Okay. So you've got four options, and you need to tell me which could be the correct answers. Yes, please, anyone.
Sir, A,
B.
C, sir.
Okay, let me start writing down. So someone has said A, someone has said C. Okay. Anyone else?
B and C.
B and C. Do we have any further options? Hmm. So let's look at the options. The local conditions of village require 2,500 people to cross the bridge. So I think this we are clear. Nobody has pointed out. So this again is out of the context. So this could not be the answer. So a good catch there by both of you. The root bridges of the region have better longevity and potential strength. I think that was very evident and clear in the video as well. Even this part was also mentioned that no bridges have been built here by the government. So let's see the correct answers. Okay, this is just an image to help you connect with the question of the living root bridge. And the correct answers are A. So both of you are actually correct. Uh, and you'll get partial marks as well if you have attempted this in your quiz. So all the three options are correct. जो बाकी तरह के ब्रिजेस थे वो पहले बनाए भी गए होंगे बट वो वॉश अवे हो जाते थे वो बह जाते थे पानी में राइट दिस वाज मेंशन्ड इन द वीडियो दैट द गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से भी पहल नहीं हुई है ना ही कोई मॉडर्न एक्सपर्टी मटेरियल या फिर टेक्नोलॉजी यूज हुई है साथ ही द बेटर हैव दीज ब्रिजेस हैव बेटर लॉन्जेविटी इनका इनका ड्यूरेबिलिटी और साथ ही इनका जो लाइफ है इट्स मच ग्रेटर as compared to the steel bridges. So it's very contextual, right? हम ये नहीं सोच सकते कि ऐसा कुछ हम कहीं और किसी नदी नाले में भी बना सकते हैं because we are talking about a specific kind of tree, we are talking about a specific kind of context. All right. So thank you for participation. Both are correct. A, B, and C are the correct answers. Let's go to our second question. The introduction of dash press led to an increasing demand for books. तो इसमें यू हैव टू थिंक बैक या थोड़ा सा हिस्टोरिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से यू हैव टू see this question. Introduction of which kind of press led to an increasing demand for books?
Sir, option A, sir.
We have got option A के लिए one person. Oh, sorry, by mistake I've already shown the option. All right. So yes, I think the Gutenberg press is the correct answer. It has been mentioned in how press started. कोई बता सकता है मुझे गुटेनबर्ग से पहले किस टाइप की प्रिंटिंग यूज होती थी before the Gutenberg press came in? Anyone?
The one which is carved on blocks.
Correct, correct. It was the wooden blocks. और जितना मुझे ध्यान आ रहा है ये चाइना में यूज हो रहा था
Yeah.
where the wooden blocks had basically carved out. जैसे हम लोग ब्लॉक प्रिंटिंग भी जैसे हम करते हैं बोलते हैं what we have in block printing are certain motifs and certain designs, but in that scenario they were basically having their letters and typography, and each individual जैसे अगर मैं लिखूं यहाँ पे A B C, जस्ट इमेजिन और इस तरह से वो एक एक सेंटेंस फ्रेम करते थे और वो यूज करते थे एंड इवेंचुअली इट वाज ट्रांसलेटेड बाय गुटेनबर्ग इनटू अ मोर फॉर्म अ रिफाइंड काइंड ऑफ अ प्रिंटिंग प्रेस जिससे कि डिमांड फॉर बुक्स बढ़ने लगे बिकॉज पीपल स्टार्टेड रीडिंग पीपल स्टार्टेड जो लिटरेसी है वो बढ़ने लगी और फिर देयर वाज एन इंक्रीजिंग डिमांड. सो यस, द करेक्ट आंसर इज गुटेनबर्ग. To the next question. Again, I think it's a direct one. Bionics explores the interplay between dash and design. Bionics.
Option C, sir. Biology.
Okay, we've got option C. Anyone else? Bionics. You can refer to the TED video.
C.
Option C, sir.
Option C, option C. So yes, well done. The correct answer is biology. It's biology and design, which is the correct answer. Let's move to question 4. When referring to bionics, so again a question pertaining to the previous question, the term dynamic interface refers to, है ना, how bionic limbs may move like our natural limbs, electrical interfaces, the psychological response of a person who wears bionic attachments, how bionic attachments interact with our nervous system. So थोड़ा सा tricky है, but please try to understand. We are talking about dynamic interfaces. क्या ये है कि how bionic limbs move like our natural limbs, the electrical interfaces या फिर psychological responses, या फिर how bionic attachments interact with our nervous system.
Option A.
Right? We have got anyone else? Dynamic interface. डायनेमिक को आप गतिशील भी बोल सकते हैं. Anyone else who has
Sir,
any
option D.
option D? Okay. और कोई है who wants to share their point of view? Ma'am, why do you think it is option A? Bionic limbs may move like our natural limbs.
Because I had taken note when I watched the video. They said how they move like flesh and bone.
Okay, so which also inferences us that watching and note taking is a good practice. And there was one more opinion. Why option D? Can you please explain your point of view? All right, no issues. I mean, let's see the correct answer. Yes, the correct answer is option A, wherein how bionic limbs may move like our natural limbs. So I think ma'am has told us, a very good practice of note taking. Even I do prefer it. Whenever we watch a video or we see a content, it's always better to take certain notes, because at the end, when you are preparing for your final quiz or the final exam, to go through the entire video set will be very cumbersome, right? So eventually you will have to prepare and go through all your notes. जैसे हम लोग स्कूल में भी करते थे, छोटे छोटे नोट्स बना लेते थे to have a quick revision of that, and probably it will help you prepare for the entire quiz in a very short time and in much more effective way. Ma'am, can you tell us, I mean, note taking has been a regular practice for you, और इस कोर्स के लिए आप ऐसा कर रहे हैं या फिर आप पहले से करते रहे हैं? हाउ इट हेल्प्स यू?
It's been a regular thing. It helps me have a quick revision before I start a particular class, or to you know it's not just note taking. I mean, if we just take notes and never use it, then there is no point. We have to also look for situations or opportunities where we could make use of the notes as well. Only then it actually helps us.
Right, right. So, I mean, do you do it for examinations or also while you're preparing for assignments or while taking the classes?
For everything, for everyday things.
Okay, okay. So it's been quite regular with you. I mean, since your education, huh? And since you have been educated, and then even in your profession.
Yes, and I think Like sticky notes are a major thing for me. So the small sticky notes help me for all the quick small notes that let me know what are the tasks that I have to finish today, what are the portions I have to focus today.
So, do you use digital tools for note taking, or you prefer pen and paper, the traditional modes of note taking?
Depends on the task. For example, sometimes I use the calendar app on my phone, which lets me color tag the event that I want to focus.
Right,
But
right.
on my work desk, I would prefer the physical sticky note version.
Okay.
So I think both, I depend on both.
Nice, man, nice. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you. Let's go to our fifth question. The question is UN created dash sustainable goals in 2015. So what we are basically asking is the number of SDGs. If you have gone through the PPT, I mean, we have already shown you one image in the content recap.
Option C, sir.
We have got one vote on option C. Anyone else? Sustainable Development Goals by UN. कितने लक्ष्य की बात की गई थी?
17C, sir. Option.
Option C. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so the correct answer is, as you can see, we have got 17 goals. और अगर आप ये भी काउंट करेंगे तो मुझे लगता है कि this will result into 17. Okay, this is how the visualization has happened. So each particular color is pertaining to one or more segment, and it leads to a total sum of 17 count. So the correct answer, as you both have mentioned, is option C. So well done. Anybody can tell me, I mean, what do we call SDGs in Hindi? सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स को हम हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? कोई बता सकता है मुझे? गोल्स को हम लक्ष्य कहते हैं। डेवलपमेंट इज विकास। सस्टेनेबल को बहुत पहलू है, बट नॉर्मली हम लोग सतत भी बोलते हैं, तो सतत विकास लक्ष्य कैन ऑल्सो बी said in Hindi. So just I mean sharing with all of you. Okay. So next question, it's an imagery based question. So we have got two imagery, and of the two imagery, you have to tell me, select one for the correct answer. Which among the two image is an example of fly ash brick? तो आपके पास
Option A, sir.
ओके, वन पर्सन ने सेड ऑप्शन में, और which among the two is an example of fly ash brick? Fly ash brick.
A.
Okay. Anyone else? So how did you guess it? If you can please tell why A and how did you guess it?
Sir, industries are releasing most of dust.
Okay, so basically fly ash is made up of waste dust from the industry. Okay, that is true. But how did it help you in telling which option? Is it the size of the bricks?
The color.
Is it the color? Correct, correct. Is it the color of the bricks? Yes. So when you're talking about waste, so dust waste जो है from the industries, all coming from the chimneys, basically those are being used while mixing of certain more ingredients, and these are being generated. So these are your fly ash bricks. These are quite light in weight, but then they have good strength. What you see here is basically the clay bricks, मिट्टी से जो बनती है, ईंट भी आप इसको बोलते हैं. Normally the in house constructions, we see this happening mostly, but इसका भी usage अभी it has increased a lot in multi-story apartments and residentials. These are also being extensively used, right? So let us see. I mean, from a baking perspective, so fly ash requires these ingredients which are mixed in certain proportions, and obviously water is required, and then it goes into a pan mixture or a mixture, just like you have mixer grinder at your rooms. It basically mixes all the components, and the material goes onto a conveyor belt, and here these are poured in the materials and the bricks come out. All right. So I think the color is a quite good evidence of the fly ash. So if you have an imagery based question, I think it would be quite easy to attempt there. So the correct answer is option A, which is this option. Great. So let's come to the seventh question. This is a true and false question. The statement says embodied energy is a calculation of all the energy that is used to produce a material or product, including mining, manufacture, and transport. Okay. So take a time to read and understand what we are basically saying. It's a statement on embodied energy. Okay. So professor from Srishti was talking about this, where she takes reference of a professional, and he talks about I think the context was cane furniture, and how, and what can actually be embodied energy. Is a calculation of all the energy that is used to produce a material or product, including mining, manufacture, and transport. Mining basically is retrieving, excavation of the material, manufacturing it, and transporting it. So basically, right from scratch to the product, it is saying that all the energy which is utilized in this particular timeline. Any preferences? Whether it is true or false? I'll just write it once again. There was a sofa like this. Although it's not directly present in your week's content, but from a learning point of view, it is very relevant because because the content also talks about embodied energy, and it can actually help you in terms of understanding it more. Given that we purchase a lot of products, and what the reference was given was cane might seem a very sustainable option, but then it also depends on where it is coming from, how much water is it consuming, uh, how much kilometers away the fuel is being consumed to actually reach to your uh, seller portal or a shop, right? And from the shop, where it is going. हाँ, आजकल अमेज़न है, सब कुछ आप कहीं भी भारत के किसी भी कोने में इट कैन एक्चुअली रीच, राइट? तो इन सारे एस्पेक्ट्स को मद्देनज़र रखते हुए कंसीडरिंग ऑल दीज़ पैरामीटर्स इन माइंड, you know, one might say that this is not very sustainable, all right? So it means that, a lot of factors are involved in calculation and giving or tagging something which is sustainable or not. So again, I'll come back to the audience. What do you think, whether it is true or false? Okay, so let me tell the correct answer. The correct answer is true. It basically includes all the energy which is utilized in excavation, manufacturing, and the transport. It is not just the material which is important when we are considering sustainability. It's also about, how the material is being excavated or produced, and then, what kind of manufacturing process it is going through. If it is a lot of heat by which the bending is happening, and the heat is coming from a flame which is in turn coming from gas or fuel like petrol, then again it's not sustainable. Okay, so these factors actually help us understand, and this gives a tangible value. Okay, this gives us a tangible value by which we can actually say that, the embodied energy is higher or having this value, by which we can, actually make a certain claim whether, it's sustainable or not. Let's come to our eighth question. As per the lecture, which part of the house layout was on debate while designing for houses in the coastal settlement? As per the lecture, which part of the house layout was on debate while designing for houses in the coastal settlement? So these are the different parts of the house layout. If you recall the content recap, veranda was there, bedroom was there, toilet was there, kitchen was there. But for a certain space, there was certain debate between the designers, the donors of the project, and the dwellers. Like I mentioned, it was about the participatory research. Okay, so take some time. Meanwhile, I'll just check how many people are in the meeting as of now. Seem to be an issue with the internet. Just quickly figure out what the issue is. So basically, there is some internet connectivity issue. We have resolved it as of now. We'll see, how quickly we are able to get back to our Gmeet and join in with all our members live. Sorry for the inconvenience. I think these are issues which are beyond the control. And meanwhile, I think we have been able to cover a lot of content. We have been able to cover a lot of questions around how and which will give us more understanding of these all these items and better understanding of the week 2 content which has been made live. So we'll just take a pause. Let's take a pause of 5 minutes in order to figure out how the internet can get back working again, and we'll continue our presentation. Right? Just let us quickly try to resolve it. Uh, hmm. Okay, so we have been able to restart our session. I'll just see if the other people who are there in the meeting can join in back. Just give me a minute. Okay, so we'll continue our session. There was some hiccup with the internet. We have tried to resolve it by a default connection. I hope we continue on this. I'm so sorry. I mean, this is something which is beyond my control. All right, I'll put my screen on share once again. Right. So we discussed this question. It was about the embodied energy, and so which is basically the calculation of the energy that is used to produce a material product, including mining, manufacture, and transport. There were two options given to the users, true or false. And as rightly said, it's correct because it's about, how the material is produced, how it has been excavated, how it has been transformed, how it has been shaped up into a product, and how it has reached your particular home. Okay, so all these things gets accounted for when we are talking about the embodied energy. Now, this particular question is about the house layout and which part of the house layout was on debate while designing for the courses in the coastal settlement. Now, like I said, there were people who were relocated due to the post tsunami scenario, and a housing dwelling had to be developed. So, in this particular scenario, the designers were being associated with the donors. I mean, there were the different stakeholders. But the designers were also doing participatory research, which means that they were reaching out to the dwellers, reaching out to the people who will be using it in future, and they were taking frequent inputs. So when they were talking to all these dwellers, they realized that they don't want a certain space within their house, and you have to identify which among them was the option. Okay, let me check if we have any of the. Okay, so we don't have that yet. The internet is connected though. Facing certain issue with the internet. I'm so sorry. But let's continue. I mean, the people might be using it and viewing it when I upload it on the YouTube. As you can see here, this is the layout. So we can tell that this is the residential or a dwelling unit plan, right? This is the dwelling unit plan. Here comes the veranda. As you move in, this is the open kitchen. So they might be having vessels and they might be cooking here. People will be sitting here and doing it. From here, there was an access to bedroom, and here is another bedroom. So you can see here, how the dwellings were created. They utilize the slope roof concept, and it's basically because of the heavy rains which come, right? So normally, with wherever there is snow and rains, the roofing would be sloped roofing. I think the user joined in. I'll just keep a check on that. All right. Can anybody hear me? If there is anyone in the call? Right, right. So coming back to a presentation, the question was, as per the lecture, which part of the house was on debate while designing for houses in the coastal settlement? So we talked about the three stakeholders, and these stakeholders were basically the designers who are in constant touch with the dwellers. The designers are in constant touch with the donors of the project. And the donors had certain idea which they conveyed to the design team, but the design team, when they consulted the dwellers, they had a different point of view. And when these situation arises, it is the role of designers to actually take a stand and tell that what is it that is important for the users, and how it needs to be made in order to be better utilized, right? So if you see, this is the layout, and it was the kitchen area which was all of having a lot of debate. You can say debate, or contrary of opinions, because normally if you see the residentials nowadays, the kitchen comes inside. It's not something that is so evident in the veranda. Okay, you are stepping in and then you see a kitchen. That's not the case which is normally seen, and that's where the people were having contrary opinions. But then when they reached out to the dwellers, they realized that it's not something which they are keen on doing it. It's basically the dwellers which have a certain cultural aspect, certain way of living, and that's where they need to align with it, right? So the correct answer is D, which is the kitchen. Let's come to our second last question. What intervention of the Dabbawalas helped in reducing food wastage and addressing the hungry street children? Okay, so think about it. It's quite one of the direct uh, responses. We talked about the Dabbawalas of Mumbai, and how it is helping in reducing the food wastage and addressing the hungry street children. All right, hungry street children. So the options are: they organized meal camps, they gave free meal passes to the hungry children, they started Share a Dabba campaign, and they fourth option is paste a tiny sticker. Okay, you're talking about people who were wearing, they had the typical dress of going around and delivering the dabbas, and overhead they would be keeping all the dabbas. So all these are the dabbas, you can assume, right? So their idea was to take the dabbas and take from one end to the other end, and that's how the dabbawalas were basically serving their job. So they would take the lunch boxes from the house and they would deliver it to the space wherein the user needs the tiffin. All right. So the options are: they organized meal camps, gave free meal passes to hungry children, they started a Dabba campaign, Share a Dabba campaign, and they paste tiny stickers. So take some time, think about it. What could be the reason for that? And we'll see the answer to it. Okay, so there is another issue on the internet. So it will be connecting soon. Meanwhile, we'll get back to the presentation. Okay, so if you see this image, it's a very iconic picture. If you see it all together, uh, there's this person, there's this white outfit. Normally, you will see dabbawalas, in the white outfit, and some would be using overhead structures to go. Some would be utilizing. So it basically depends on the number of dabbas, right? On the number of dabbas, they would actually be utilizing which transport, which mode to commute with. And the idea was share a sticker. Okay. Share a sticker was something which helped the user notify the dabbawalas that tiffin has some food left. Okay. So it was the share sticker that was helping the dabbawalas to identify that, okay, this is the tiffin wherein the food is left. So what they would do is that they would, segregate those tiffins, huh? Segregate those tiffins, and they would have a tie-up with an NGO, and they will give the remaining food, which can actually help feed the street children. All right. So this was how the model worked. They This is the stickers, right? It would be given to the users. User, if they have their dabbas half filled or there was some food left, they would place the sticker on the dabba, and these dabbas would be segregated and given to the food to the hungry street children. So they did this in collaboration with an NGO. So both the entities, the dabbawalas and the NGO, are should be applauded for this kind of an initiative. And obviously it required certain more effort, but then it is being done for a greater cause. Let's go to our Okay, so let's check the correct answers. The correct answers are C and D, right? Coming to our final question. Final question is, the image below can be best described as root bridge, living root bridge, double decker living root bridge, or multiple living root bridge. So take your time और सोचिए इस बात को कि इनमें से कौन सा ऑप्शन हो सकता है. Out of the four options, what is the correct answer? Right? The image below can be best described as root bridge, living root bridge, double decker living root bridge, or multiple living root bridges. तो जैसा कि मैंने पहले ही बताया था आप लोगों को, these are basically banyan tree. Banyan tree are usually huge. They have a huge lifespan, and इनकी जो रूट्स हैं वो ऊपर से गिरती हैं नीचे. Right? And what the local people, what they did was that they utilized the root and they meshed it in a way so that it started becoming like a bridge. So the root started growing in that particular way. फिर उसमें उन्होंने मिट्टी और stones वगैरह डाले जिससे कि उसमें strength आए. Right? And this could actually survive a lot of, the people could walk from one end to the other. They can carry stuff. Even the animals could actually walk from one end to the other end. You know? So it was a very, very interesting story which we saw there. The correct answer is the double decker living road bridge. है ना? Why double decker? You can see, this is at level 1. This one is at level 2, right? दो levels पे है ये. And what could be the use case? Use case क्या हो सकता है? Why double decker? बताइए. There could be many scenarios. One could be that, one can be dedicated to pedestrians, or it could be dedicated to people who are carrying some load. हो सकता है, कुछ भी हो सकता है ना? We are just ideating. We are not saying that this is the correct answer, but we are just ideating given the fact that why two levels of bridges? One could be that one is for one direction and the other one is for the opposite direction. Right. So we are not saying which one is correct, but when we see something different, something unique, it's always it should always come to a mind that what could be the reason behind it, right? इसके पीछे क्या कारण हो सकता है कि इस वजह से ये ब्रिज बनाया लोगों ने. So there could be many reasons out of it, and our role is to try to interpret it, try to articulate what could be the probable options. But in this particular question, the correct answer is double decker living road bridge. Okay. So with that, we end our class for today. Thank you and dhanyawad to all of you. Keep the associations. We have seen that the internet had been troubling us for quite a long time. I just hope that we try to resolve it on our end as soon as possible. Let me quickly talk about this particular section. As I mentioned that, just a second. As I mentioned that this particular area is where you see all your announcements, and a recent announcement which has been made today is that the week 3 content is live, right? Which means that the week 1 and week 2 content are already were already made live. The assignments for this had to be completed by 7th of Feb. The week 3 assignment needs to be completed by the 14th of Feb, right? So you're getting 1 week's duration, and you can then understand more about it. Okay. Uh, yeah. So let me click and show. You can see week 3, and if you click on week 3 design and industry, you'll be able to see the content. Uh, we have the lecture contents. Then we'll have the ALM, which are the additional learning materials, right? Um, the reference material are basically links which will lead you to Google Drive, like I'm showing it to you right now. And this link will lead you to a place where you will find a Word document which you can actually download, and you can refer it uh, for quite a long time. So see, I mean, you see a lot of lectures, a lot of modules, and then you have the quiz, right? So if you click on the quiz, as I mentioned that the deadline is 14th, yes, you can see the deadline, right? So that has been the case. And yes, so we can see certain numbers here. The learners enrolled for this course are 1929. We have already got more than 200 exam registrations. So I think that's a huge figure. 200 से ऊपर बच्चों ने learners ने enroll कर लिया है इस course के लिए, and approximately I think 2000 learners are enrolled in this particular course. You can see the week wise detailing on all these courses, even though the content of week 4 has not been made live, but you can see the titles of this. So week 3 talks about design in industry and design in collaboration, while the week 7 talks about innovation by design. Okay. And we also see a list of books and references. So if you are passionate about design, if you want to learn more about design, if you want to get more detailed understanding of it, then it's always good to go through these links. Okay. This is the instructor bio, Professor Nina Sabnani, who is a renowned animator, illustrator, storyteller. This is followed by the details of the course, which I've already mentioned to you in our presentation, the criterias, the marking criterias, right? Like I clicked on the references. So this is the reference page. You can download it and you can actually, it can actually help you, and in the longer preparation of your course, right? So I think now we'll close the session. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.